Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. For today's episode, just doing a quick recap after the Miami Heat defeated the San Antonio Spurs 120 to 117 at home. The Miami Heat are now 2-1 in the preseason, and it was a good game overall for the Miami Heat. Again, it's the preseason, so no one really cares about the game. Honestly, no one's trying their hardest, obviously, and the starters didn't play the entire game, but Miami starters did play more this game. So I think this might be the last game where we see Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo perhaps, and a few other starters. But Jimmy Butler played in his third consecutive preseason game. So that's interesting in its own right. And the Miami Heat starters in general look good again today. They didn't look spectacular, but the offense looked fluid enough. There was good spacing again for the most part, especially when we saw Bam Adebayo spotting up in the corners and creating opportunities for players like Jimmy and for Tyler and for Terry to play downhill and get into the lane. So, good victory for the Miami Heat. And we got to see the Miami Heat play against Wemby, who is a monster out there. Like, he didn't play a ton. I think only played like 17 minutes. We'll look at the box score in a minute. But Wemby is super talented. I know he started off the game with hitting a three. He scored, I think, 7 points or so in the first quarter. You could see how good he is as a defender. He is at such a young age. He was the leading shot blocker in the NBA last season, averaging 3.6 blocks per game. Had a block, had a steal or so in that first quarter. You saw he's a good passer. He's a good shooter. He can play in the post. He can do everything. He's a unicorn, and he's going to be exciting to watch. Got to see him paired up with CP3, who's very annoying. Got into a little argument with Jimmy Butler. He kind of bumped into Nikola Jovic, and Jimmy came to his defense. And it was similar to the bubble when CP3 tried to punk Duncan Robinson, and Jimmy Butler wasn't having that. He was like, I'm not going to let you talk to my teammate like that. And I think a few plays after CP3 had that hard foul on Duncan and was talking a little smack, we saw Jimmy get a flagrant foul against Chris Paul in that bubble. So they were talking some shit today. That was fun to see in a preseason game. Jimmy Butler, again, looking good, looking engaged, looking ready for the regular season. And I'm excited to see this regular season soon. And again, we're going to probably see more of the young guys in the next game. I don't know exactly who the Miami Heat are playing. Haven't looked at it again because, again, it's the preseason, so don't really care too much about the preseason. Just hoping that we could stay healthy going into the regular season, which is the case right now, which is good. The Heat were basically just only missing Josh Richardson again. Haywood Highsmith did not play for some reason today, probably just getting some rest. But other than that, everybody else got an opportunity. I think the Heat played 16 or 17 guys once again, and the Miami Heat were victorious, which is good. Again, I mentioned earlier the starting five looked good. Terry and Tyler had a good first quarter. They look like they're playing pretty well off of each other. Tyler Hero was playing more in a catch and shoot role today. And he looked good. He looked engaged. Jimmy looked engaged. Bam Adebayo had a really good game. So let's look at the box score real quick so we can go over each player individually. So if we look at the starters, they mostly all played 23 minutes, or they all played 23 minutes and 31 seconds to be exact, according to NBA.com. So Jimmy Butler, really good game. 4 for 5 from the field. Only shot 1 3, was 0 for 1. Got to the free throw line 4 times, made all his shots. He was a +2 overall, 12 points, 3 steals. If he's engaged defensively, that's a good sign. But specifically in a preseason game, like, that's something you don't really see with Jimmy Butler. So I can't wait to see him in a contract year and, ready for some vengeance this season. So 12 points, 3 steals, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Really good game for Jimmy Butler. Jovic struggled shooting early on. He was like 0 for 4 to start, so he did end up 2 for 6. But again, he hasn't shot really well in the preseason yet. He needs to work on that, and he talked about that last game where he needs to hit his wide open threes because that's going to be part of his role. And he was 1 for 4 from 3, so again, not good. Got to the line twice, made both his free throws. He still was a +2. His defense has improved. He's been moving his feet, playing really well laterally, and not getting into foul trouble this game, only 1 foul. So he's stepping up on a defensive side, which is huge. We need him to rebound continuously if he's not going to score, which he was able to do. He got 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 block. So did it all on the defensive side, 7 points. He did have 2 turnovers, but that's fine. Bam Adebayo, amazing game for Bam Adebayo, 6 for 10 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. So Bam is leading the Miami Heat in the preseason. He's shooting 40% from 3, has the most threes out of anybody on the Miami Heat, which is insane. He was 6 for 9 from the line, needs to clean that up a little bit, hit one more free throw, then he'd be okay. But yeah, overall good game. And one of the threes I forgot to mention, he had a pull-up 3 off the dribble. So off transition, a pull-up 3 by Bam Adebayo if from the elbow or the corner, not the corner of the elbow, excuse me. If he can hit pull-up threes, the NBA is going to be in trouble because we saw him take Zach Collins off the dribble once he had to step up and guard him out on the 3-point range. We saw him get it to the rack and get fouled and get to the free throw lines because he's quicker, more athletic than most people his size in the NBA. So if Bam can continue to hit these threes, that's going to open up his game big time, and it's going to open up the lane for, again, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Jimmy, even Nico, who can play downhill a little bit as he's improving as a ball handler. But yeah, Bam, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, only 1 foul and 0 turnovers. Bam was huge tonight. Tyler Hero, another good game, solid game for Tyler Hero. He's looking good. He's looking healthy. 6 for 13 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3, which wasn't great, but he did make his shots from the paint and from the mid-range, which was good to see. Didn't get to the foul line as usual, but finished with 14 points, no turnovers, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal. Good game for Tyler. He's looking comfortable in this role. Terry Rozier started off okay in the first quarter, then cooled off significantly. Didn't have his best game, but 2 for 8 from the field. Not going to cut it. 1 for 6 from 3. He takes a lot of hard threes. The only 3 he made was a step back, like fadeaway type 3 and 1. He missed the free throw over Zach Collins. Tough shot for Scary Terry, but tough night for him as well. Only had 5 points, 5 assists and 5 rebounds though, and 2 blocks. Terry Rozier had a block in the last game as well. So I love to see Terry being active on the defensive end. So after the 5 played the first quarter, they came back in the second quarter as well. So they got a lot of time, and they actually played in the second half, which I was surprised. But the second unit that came out this time was, again, similar faces. Yes, we saw Drew Smith come off the bench with Duncan, with Jaime, with Kevin Love, but this time we had Alec Burks, who missed the last game. So Alec Burks came in. All of these guys basically played 19 minutes, as you can see here. Drew Smith, not a good shooting night. Again, he needs to make sure he can hit those shots if he wants to be effective and if he wants to get playing time ahead of an Alec Burks, ahead of a Josh Richardson, ahead of even a Pele Larson. None of these guys are really point guards, so he does have that fact that he is one of our true point guards on the roster, but he needs to be better offensively. 1 for 5 from the field, not great. 0 for 2 from 3, not good enough. 3 for 4 from the line, that's good. But he is a good floor general. He did have 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 points, and a steal. So he was playing solid. He just needs to hit some shots and finish in the paint on a few of those layup opportunities that he missed. Alec Burks played after missing a game, only took 2 shots, but 1 for 2, hit his only 3. So he's been solid from the 3-point line. So 3 points, 1 rebound, just didn't play much, didn't do a lot. Duncan Robinson, another good game for Duncan off the bench. Love the confidence of the veteran. 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, hit some tough threes, had 10 points, 4 assists. He's becoming a great playmaker. 3 rebounds, 1 steal. Love to see Duncan play well. Jaime Jaquez, also good game for him. 15 points off the bench. He was 5 for 11 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 5 for 8 from the free throw line, and he's not shooting that well so far in the preseason at the line. He needs to step up and shoot like in the 80s. He's been shooting like in the 60% range, which needs to be improved. He needs to clean that up. But overall, good game for Jaime. He also, again, playmaking well, finding his teammates on cuts. He had 15, 5, and 6, and a steal. Can't complain about that. The only thing I noticed was his appetite of shots. Basically, all, again, off cuts, moving off ball, and finishing in the paint. He only took 1 shot, maybe in the mid-range, which was like a turnaround fadeaway shot that he missed, and that one three-pointer. Otherwise, everything was in the paint, leveraging his footwork, leveraging his size and his speed and his off-ball movement and cuts. So either way, good to see that. I just want to see him work more on that mid-range and take a few more threes if applicable. Kevin Love, 8 minutes again. We saw him play 7 minutes last game. I think this is going to be like the range of what he's going to play, like 8 to 10 minutes per game. He's going to miss some games. I'm assuming not play back-to-backs, but 2 for 4 from the field, just shot 4 threes, hit 2 of 4. Can't complain. 6 points, 1 rebound. Solid effort. Going to skip Thomas Bryant because he sucks. What was interesting was the Miami Heat were up most of this game. We're up by double digits, and as soon as their backup unit came in, they started blowing the lead a little bit, and the Spurs ended up tying the game in the fourth quarter and taking the lead. And so with the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, Spo actually subbed in the youngsters, the Las Vegas crew, all got to come in. As you can see here, they only played 6 or 5 minutes. So Keshad Johnson came in with Josh Christopher, Pele Larson, and Kel'el Ware, and Isaiah Stevens finally got some run. After he didn't play last game, Zion Pullen got time over him. So Vegas crew came in. They look solid. You could see they have that chemistry and that confidence amongst themselves and with each other. They are able to hold on and regain the lead and win the game for the Miami Heat. Keshad came in, only 2 shots, both were threes. He hit 1 out of 2, 50%, can't complain. 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist for Keshad. Wasn't really active, was just out there for the defense. Josh Christopher came in, shot 3 threes, basically. All these guys basically shot only threes, which is kind of funny to see. But Josh Christopher came in, shot 3 threes, hit 1 of them. He hit a couple free throws after he got fouled, taking it to the rack on a great play where he helped steal the ball. He had 5 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. Pele Larson came in, for that short stint, and he had 2 shots, which were both threes. He hit 1 of them. He got to the free throw line, and he hit the game-sealing free throws again, which is huge for the Miami Heat. So he ended up with 5 points, nothing else really. Kel'el Ware came in as well. He took 2 shots. One of them was a 3. He missed, and then the first shot he had, he was backing down a smaller defender and finished in the paint on a really strong move. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. And then Isaiah Stevens only took 1 shot, got to the foul line, hit both his free throws, had 2 points and 2 assists. The Miami Heat ended up beating the San Antonio Spurs in a pretty fun game, another clutch game for this Miami Heat team. They cannot avoid clutch games for some reason. Even in the preseason, every game has to be a clutch game, a nail biter for this Miami Heat team. Their torture. I just like seeing blowouts personally, but maybe not in the preseason. That's fine. I don't care. I don't like the stress of watching tight games when it's my team. If it's another team, then that's cool. Let's go to triple overtime. Let's have a close game. But when it's my team, I want to have comfortable leads. And the Miami Heat never do that. They barely blow out teams. Another clutch game, but either way, a win's a win. Preseason's almost over, thank God. The regular season is next week. I cannot wait. I'm excited for regular season basketball. I'm excited to see this Miami Heat team. Excited to see Jimmy. Excited to see Bam. Excited to see Terry and Tyler coexist in that backcourt. So anyway, that's all I have for today's episode. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.